Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Warzone. I never thought I'd see the day where I'm making a Warzone video, but here we are. The Santa's Sleigh Ground event is going on, and I gotta tell you guys, it has been a lot of fun. It's making me rethink how I feel about Warzone to an extent, right? I feel like I was wrong about certain aspects of this game, but I still feel like I was right about other aspects, which we're gonna be covering all of that here in this video today. So, the Santa's Sleigh Ground event brings with it this entire sleigh ride game mode, right? Which I think is really fun because of three things. Number A, there are Christmas trees that award you presents for holding them, and over time you get a bunch of different rewards. Number B, you have reindeer, who of course will drop you gas masks as well as redeploy flares if you kill them. And then number C, the biggest one of all, the train, right? And I'm not even a big fan of being on the train or hunting down the train or whatever, but the fact that the circle follows the train throughout the entire map really keeps people moving, and with all the chaos of it being Resurgence, that makes it that much more fun and that much more interesting. I truly believe that Resurgence is where Warzone shines, right? If you're playing normal Warzone, like on Urzikstan, the big map and everything, normal Battle Royale, it is like the slowest, campiest online experience I think I have ever played, and mostly that just comes down to map design. I mean, the weapons feel good, the movement feels good, kill streaks are fun, which is something Blackout never really had. All of that is fantastic, but when you take all of that and then you throw it into an area like this, I mean, obviously it's the Warzone map. I got this footage in Zombies because it was a lot easier to get the footage, but you guys see what I mean, right? Downtown especially, I personally cannot find any fun playing actual Battle Royale in an area like this. You take the incredible feeling weapons and the movement and the kill streaks and all that, and then you throw in like 15, 20 story skyscrapers where every single story can have somebody in it, all the windows are accessible, and then you have the rooftops on top of that. Like, it just isn't fun. For me, it's like, it's literally finding rats, like cockroaches hiding in corners. And to me, I'm always going to think that the Blackout map was peak for actual Call of Duty Battle Royale. I mean, I'm looking at the downtown here in Urzikstan, and this just sucks. I mean, there are hundreds of windows and dozens of rooftops, so many places for you to hide and camp. And the worst part is I really think that Warzone fans are not willing to have an actual discussion about map design because either of revisionist history, or maybe just the fact that they're the kind of rat or cockroach that likes to hide in these skyscrapers all game. I mean, I had this one guy come at me on Twitter the one day, right, saying that downtown is fine. I mean, people camped in construction back in Blackout, it's the same thing. There's nothing wrong with having a bunch of buildings and stuff like that. It makes the game fun. But my dude actually said that downtown in Urzikstan here, what's it called, Zaravan City or wherever the hell, I don't care. He said this is literally the same as construction in Blackout. I mean, the two are night and day different, and I never really mentioned this here in the channel, but I have had a few conversations with a Blackout dev at Treyarch back in the day, around when the original Warzone came out, back when we were playing on Verdansk. Well, one of the big things that we talked about in our conversation was map design, right? I was saying, like, the reason why I don't like Verdansk, and I still to this day did not like Verdansk, was because there were so many buildings and so many hiding places. The map was so dense in certain areas. Other areas weren't so bad. Other areas, the map was actually pretty good, but like, when you had to move towards the cities and stuff, it just felt terrible. And the Treyarch dev explained to me that there are basically two, maybe three big dense areas on the Blackout map, and they were all very intentionally spread across the map for a reason. We have areas like cargo and construction, maybe even hydro. They were definitely dense, but still, they're nothing compared to Warzone, and the reason why they were spread out from each other is because they wanted the focus to be on organic, fun gunfights in smaller areas, right? I mean, the Blackout map was full of iconic locations. You have Nuketown Island, Firing Range, Array, Asylum, I mean, Raid. The list goes on and on. Basically, throughout, when you're playing on the Blackout map, you had a couple of dense areas on the outskirts of the map, but in general, mostly you're running through woods, going up hills, going through valleys, train tracks, and then you're playing on iconic Call of Duty maps, and as such, there weren't a ton of rooftops, there weren't a ton of windows. You were basically just playing on normal multiplayer maps whenever you stumbled upon a POI. For the most part, the focus of Blackout was moving throughout the map and having boots on the ground gunfights and reaping the rewards of those fights. And I think that's the biggest strike against regular Warzone for me. I mean, you drop in, you get your cash, you get your loadout, and that's pretty much it. I mean, no looting for perks, no looting for guns, no looting for attachments, no looting for anything, really. I mean, you might be happy if you find a medic vest, you might be happy if you find a couple precision airstrikes or whatever, but in general, you just walk your happy ass pass over to a buy station, buy everything you need, and then you have no reason to move until the circle makes you. With no incentive to make your kit any better, then where is the incentive for moving? That's my issue with like normal Warzone, right? Like you already have both of your meta guns, you have your meta perks, your meta attachments. Why would you bother moving? To me, Blackout was a lot more fun because not only did you have to move with a circle, but there were no loadouts, right? You had what you found and what you could take from other players. It was a true battle royale in that sense, and I think that's why it will always be way more interesting for me personally. Now, going back to it, I think Resurgence is fun because Resurgence doesn't try to hide what it is. I mean, Treyarch came up with the whole idea of Alcatraz back in Black Ops 4, and therefore that was like the first implementation of Resurgence. But then after that, Infinity Ward and Raven Software cranked it up a notch with loadouts. And Resurgence, if you really think about it, is basically just a glorified game of team deathmatch with extra layers and somewhat limited lives. I mean, it takes the battle royale formula and makes it way more casual friendly and way more arcade-like. It can be tense like actual battle royale, but it's also more relaxed like normal multiplayer. It kind of combines the two, right? And when you die in Resurgence, it's not that big of a deal because you're likely going to come right back into the fight, assuming your entire squad doesn't end up dying. So I think that's why so many people play Resurgence over actual Warzone. This is anecdotal. I'm not going to like call them out or anything like that, but like I have one of the biggest Warzone content creators on the planet on my friends list. They have 50 total kills in Warzone this year. And I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense, right? How could that possibly make sense? Well, it's because they play Warzone all the time, but they play Resurgence. And for some reason, the combat record within Modern Warfare 3 and within Warzone does not keep track of your Resurgence stats. Like, it seems to me that, like, people in general, when they talk about Warzone, they're talking about Resurgence. They like Resurgence, they don't like playing the normal BR, right? And so I think going forward, it would be incredible if Warzone were to adopt more of a Blackout mentality for the actual Battle Royale mode. I mean, hell, just bring back the Blackout map for COD 2024. Bring back looting, bring back the intense feeling that Battle Royale gives players, but then also heavily support Resurgence because once again, in my heart of hearts, I truly do think that when most people think of Warzone, they're thinking of Resurgence. They just want to play Resurgence. I don't think they want an actual Battle Royale. They just want to play Resurgence. Hell, when I was trying to give Warzone another chance, I told you guys I was going to try and give Warzone 3 or whatever you want to call it right now another chance, right? So I'm playing normal BR. My friends can't always be on, so I'm jumping in with some randoms. And I cannot tell you the amount of times I would jump in and my randoms will hop on the mic and we're talking or whatever and we're picking a location to drop and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't Resurgence. And then they literally back out. I know it's anecdotal and I don't have a giant sample size here, but that happened like 5 times when I was trying to play actual Warzone with randoms. Like, it truly seems like Warzone fans want Resurgence, Battle Royale fans want Blackout, and it would be sick that if in the future Call of Duty could figure out a way to have both. Because again, I was wrong about Resurgence. I was wrong about certain aspects of Warzone because the more we play it, me and my buddies have been playing a lot of it over the course of the past couple of days. I see why people like it. I really do. And even going back to like, you know, original Warzone, Warzone 2 or whatever, even going back to like Caldera, I never really got into Resurgence. It's just, I don't know, it wasn't my thing. Like, Resurgence always felt like, you know, junk food battle royale, you know, back when, even going back to Blackout, we would play on Alcatraz, and whenever we would win on Alcatraz, I mean, it felt fine, but it wasn't the same as playing an actual BR where you have like 1 life. Or I do think if they were to bring Blackout back, there should be a way to get your teammate back at least 1 time, because it really sucks. Like, if you're dropping Nuketown with a full squad, one of your buddies dies because they get thirsted, and then now that buddy has to sit there and spectate the entire game with no chance of being able to come back. I think they could maybe like figure out a way to have them like have 1 person come back maybe, but in general, you know, wins on actual Battle Royale feels so much better than wins on Resurgence. But I think people play Resurgence because it's not as intense. You can come back. It's basically like glorified team deathmatch, and when you win, it does feel good. But again, it's not quite the same, right? So I think they should be able to find some form of a middle ground here, like heavily support Resurgence because it is fun. But I would like to see like the normal Warzone like Battle Royale experience be changed in one way or another to become more of a Battle Royale. And I don't know, maybe that this is just my perspective here. It really seems like people don't even play the actual BR. They just play Resurgence. Maybe I'm missing the Mark on this entirely, but whenever I'm watching streams, whenever I'm talking to people, they all seem to want to play Resurgence as compared to, you know, playing on the big map and playing actual Battle Royale and things like that. And I think part of it is because they have these mechanics that are really good in Resurgence, like having loadouts, having buy stations, things like that. That all works well in Resurgence. But for me, in my perspective, and I'm sure plenty of you guys as well, I'm sure the comments are going to be full on this one, but like, I'm sure for a lot of people, those mechanics take away from the actual Battle Royale feel when you're playing Warzone. And so if you're looking to play like an actual BR, like One Life, or maybe buy people back or whatever, like, it just doesn't feel as good when everyone has their meta loadouts, their meta attachments, their meta guns, meta perks, meta everything. There's just no reason for them to move. Blackout, you're always moving in Blackout because you dropped, you got your stuff, you maybe killed one or two people, you took their stuff, and now you're thinking to yourself like, man, if we're going to be like ready for the final circle, I'm going to need a lot more than a Spitfire with one attachment and an Auger with two attachments and no perks. You know, you're hoping, you know, you're going into every area, you're looking for perks, you're looking for attachments, you're looking for guns. Like, I know when I played Blackout, I was always looking for that MP40, you know, things like that. It was fun going area to area, trying to take out teams, deciding whether or not you were strong enough to take out this other team, and if you wanted to even try to push them. You know, you were always on the move in Blackout, whereas Warzone seems like kind of like the opposite. It's like baby's first Battle Royale, which I know sounds mean, but like, it's just how it feels to me after playing so much Blackout and like other BR games and things like that. So again, Resurgence is awesome, and hopefully in the future they continue to support that and continue to have fun modes like we have here with the Santa's Slayground event. But also, I would like to see like the actual BR mode be adjusted as well. Therefore, we have like pretty much the best of both worlds. There you guys have it. There's my long-winded rant on this. I'm very passionate about it because Blackout was one of my favorite gaming experiences ever, and I hope to see more things like it in the future. But also, I'm enjoying my time right now in Warzone as well. So, you know, something I'm passionate about, something I want to talk about, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider dropping me a like, leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
Almost collided.
Downtown.
I bought a bunch of plates.
Oh, gas is coming in.
Yep.
We need to start moving forward.
I'm just gonna get out. Wait, he just bought.
He behind us. He bought from behind us.
I down one.
Got one. Got two. Last one.
Last one.
Right?
I believe he's in the very back here. I actually don't know.
He's in the air. One last.
Oh, he's on me.
Shit, there's no way.
We win.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, we did it.
Was he like laying on top of us the entire time, waiting for us to move, and then like
I don't know.
as soon as we did, he jumps in and rebuys his team? Because
I guess, yeah.
He had to have been like on top of the fucking train car or some shit.
Old strategy.
Had to have literally been sitting there because all four of us were there for so long.
Yeah, and as soon as we walked out, pew pew, the sound of the redeploys.
You got what?
Immortal. Apparently, that take a lot of damage.
It's not even. Mine's glitched.
Hey,
it's not even
assist
showing me
leader.
anything.
There we go, Tay. Alley-oop.
Let me know mine is.
Yeah.
The supplier, resupplied friendlies. Ah, boy, you gave us a munitions box.
Yeah. I dropped like 5 of
Eyes to the
those.
sky expert.
What did I get?
Joe, I had 10 redeploys. That means like we stayed alive so you guys can get in 10 times.